Alright, today's video is about the Orks! And we're going to talk about how that they're really not, they're not bad. They're in an okay spot. There's definitely room for improvement. But mostly I want to talk about how they've become very like vanilla. Pretty much just close combat like monsters. With the new rules of 10th, we lost a lot of our DACA to twin linked bullshit. And I get that twin linked is statistically better for certain races, but it is not for orcs, and I'm going to explain why. Well, I think it is statistically kind of better, but getting rerolls is good. But orcs aren't about rerolls. We're about having ridiculous amount of shots. Putting a plane, putting like 6 guns on it, or as many as guns could barely have on it to take off. You know, same with the trucks, same with like the looters and shit. We're not supposed to be an elite army that fires like precision shots, and I think that's why like the shooting in orcs is gone to shit. And it's, you know, everyone's saying, well, if you have knobs, get sluggers and choppers, pretty much with everything. Commandos, sluggers, and choppers. The guns just suck now. We don't get as many shots. It's pretty much, it's shit. And my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree with this, that orcs are about rolling fistful of dice. You know, you have this vehicle, like let's say this giant Stompa, tons of fucking guns on it. Wherever you can fit a gun, fit a gun. And then you just roll fistfuls of dice. You get those sweet 5+, and you might get 5 to 6 shots out of like 30. But those 5 or 6 shots are like super satisfying. They do a good amount of damage. But you don't see that anymore. It's completely done. Maybe someone will have some fucking sense when they rewrite the codex. But I'm not holding my breath for it. I don't have any hope for that shit. Combat weapons are completely dumbed down. It doesn't matter if you have a flamethrower or a missile launcher on there. It's just this like to me it's so stupid. It's like I want a missile launcher or a flamethrower. Don't give me anti-infantry or anti-vehicle or both. I want it for one thing and one thing only. You know, give us our fucking stats back. I think it's just way too watered down. I guess for maybe the slow people out there who thought the 9th edition rules were too hard to understand. Go and play some 2nd edition. You want to see ridiculous like fucking rules and like retarded dice rolls and stuff like that. But right now I want to talk about the lack of the orkiness and some of the vehicles that we've lost, and I think that GW should get their heads out of their ass and bring back. And if you think I missed anything, or you have your own idea, go ahead and write it in the comments. I'm not always a big fan of like people writing in the comments. I don't always read them because I've got a lot of shit to do, and this is kind of like a hobby, and this is just a way for me to vent and get shit out of me, because most of my friends don't play this shit, so I don't have like a lot of people to understand my pain. So if you feel free, this is like one of the few times I'm telling you that, you know, put your own like what orky shit would you like to have back or like to see. Number 1, I want the flak wagon back. Our planes are shit. They destroyed our planes with getting rid of all the fucking extra shots it's supposed to have. The stupid twin link made it retarded. Now planes are pretty much useless since they don't have hover either, so they can only come in on the 2nd turn, which I don't understand how a plane that's doing like Mach 10 can't come in on the 1st fucking turn. Somehow people with feet can do it, but yet this super fast fucking plane that goes hundreds of miles an hour can't do it. It's beyond retarded. But back to the flak wagon. We have no anti-air, unless you count the tractor beam that the grunts have, or not the grunts, the Gretchen. To me, that's not like a real anti-air weapon. It's good because it can grab air, and that's the one benefit to using it. But we have no real anti-air. And I think on my top list of things, the flak wagon needs to come back. Just a simple truck with some quad guns on it, and have one or two of them, and just load the fuck out of it with guns, and have some ridiculous amount of shooting. Just bring this back. People will buy the fuck out of it. It's the orc thing. It's very orky. It's very stylized. Garbage truck. Put some guns on the back. Not hard, GW. Not fucking hard. Second thing. Tanks. I think they've done a good job with all the buggies, even though now in 10th the buggies aren't as good as they used to be. But when it comes to tanks, we really don't have shit. I mean, you could talk about the wagons, but the wagons now are all pretty much one wagon, and you could just put different weapons on it. They're not like 3 individual ones. You know, back in the day, last edition, you'd have like the periscope, so you had one that took advantage of the cannon and shit like that. Now all that's gone. It's just a wagon and what you can put on it. That's okay if you dropped the points and made it like affordable. But we need like a real like mainline battle tank, and we don't have that. And orcs definitely have those. In the lore, they have tanks and shit. This is a Forge World one you can get. It's pretty decent. I think only one of the guns is considered like really good, and the other one's kind of iffy. This is kind of like a remake of the old tanks from like in the old 2nd edition stuff. This guy is definitely an orc tank. You can see by the ridiculous claws on the front, and then the huge fucking barrel compared to the actual like turret. That's what orcs do right there. This is like, if you say what is an orc tank, that is an orc tank. And this used to be in like Epic 40K. And I was so happy when Epic was coming back, and then super disappointed when they were like, oh, it's only going to be 30 in a year, 30,000. That's so they don't have to make any shit. You can just make a bunch of Space Marine Legion shit and just paint it a different color. It's quick, easy money for them. But this was from the old Epic back in the day. And I would love to see just a mainline battle tank with a couple... Who the fuck is texting me? With just a couple variants. There used to be one with twin barrels. You can have the killer like roller thing, the steamroller thing, and then have one with one barrel, and then have one with the claws. You know, you don't have to hold any troops in it. Just make it a regular tank. This also used to be on Forge World, and I loved it, and I never got around to buying it, but now you can't buy it anymore. This was like really awesome and looked good, and it made sense. It's very orky. Tons of guns, big fortress. This is the old Epic tank. Again, ridiculously large, 2 giant cannons on it. You know, just modernize this shit. It's not hard. You know you could do it, GW, if you wanted. And you could probably make like 4 or 5 versions out of it, just like you do with your damn the battle wagon here. To me, it's like if you're going to like put every tank into one category like you did with the wagon, you know, make 3 or 4 different versions of it, or have enough pieces where you can do that. And drop the fucking points down because it's so overpriced. And this is the only way you can get Gazgul in fucking something, because he's such a fat boy now. But give us a reason. Give us a reason to buy this, because right now it's way too overpriced. Okay, another thing, Gretchen. We need more Gretchen stuff. Like we got this regular Gretchen, and then we have on the cannons. Bring back the fucking helicopter that they used to have. Make the fucking the Gretchen tanks in plastic, please. This is such a good unit now with the whole the scatter thing, where I think if someone gets within 9 inches of you at the end of their turn, you can like make an extra movement and just get the hell away from them. You know, give us like some characters and shit too. There's no HQ characters. You should be able to have like an almost Gretchen army. I think Gretchen are very downplayed when they're almost like the worker class and the backbone of the orcs when it comes to making and doing shit. And there's definitely like fighters. They're not great, you know. They die easy. They're better shots though. But give us something to do with them. This is a vehicle that I used to like when I played Epic, and I played a lot of it on the PC back in the day. The Dragster Bubble, is it a Bubble Chucker? Yeah. This thing is just a fun, goofy vehicle. You know, orcs have all that weird, stupid science shit that doesn't make sense. This is like the perfect like melding of both of that. Big ass fast race car with ridiculous like guns on it. I don't even know how like the Bubble Chuckle would work in real life, but I fucking love it because it's just ridiculous. You know, there's so much they could do with orcs, and they're just not pushed hardly enough. It's like with orcs should have a vehicle from every other race that's been looted, just about, and have some kind of like variant on it. Yeah, that's how it should be. Here's something I really I miss too: the flamethrower vehicles. We have no flamethrower vehicles. The one burner plane sucks. There used to be the bike, just like here with the little flamethrower on the top. And in Epic, there used to be a tank with a flamethrower, like nozzle. It had the same kind of like turret, round. Like, we have burner boys. Why can't we have like some kind of like flamethrower truck or bike or something? Fucking Imperial Guard have like 3 versions of the like the Hellhound, the one with the melta, and then one with the chemical, which is all the same thing. It's just a different chemical flame. You know, it's all the same thing. But they have 3 versions. We can't even get fucking one. This used to, I can't remember what this was called, but I liked it. Pretty much a great anti-tank vehicle. Pretty much a dragster with a huge fucking barrel, which takes up more of the fucking vehicle than anything else. You drive it out there, you shoot, and then you haul ass and get out of there. Like, there's not enough like funny, like every orc vehicle should be like a funny tank. And we don't have that. Have I said that enough that we just don't have enough vehicles? Sound like a broken record, but yeah. Here's another great thing that should fucking come back. The old like smash a lifter truck and shit. Look, there's a battle wagon, and they just put the damn gun on it. Why can't we get this back? This is great for like crushing vehicles. It'd be great like anti-Titan vehicle, because we don't really have anything for anti-Titans unless we use our Titans. Seriously, this is like such a classic weapon that's been around since the beginning, and we can't even get it in Forge World. It's so fucking stupid. Bring this back, almost more than anything. Bring this fucker back. So one thing I really want to see too is Weird Boy Towers. Whenever you open up the Codex and they talk about the Weird Boys, oh, we keep them high up, away from everybody else, because their heads will explode or some shit. Or they'll kill a whole bunch of boys because they can't be around other orcs. Why can't we get one kind of vehicle, except for the fucking hunter rig? Is it the hunter rig or the kill? One of them has like a psychic tower for it. But like, why doesn't any of the old, like any other vehicles have like a? We can't get like a battle wagon with a tower on it. We can't get like a basic truck. Also, like the whole fucking trucks are really good right now. But like, what options do we have with the trucks? They only come one way. If you're a Space Marine player, you have like 5 APCs to choose from, like Bare Bones to the Razorback, like Bare Bones Rhino to like a Land Raider to fucking the hover vehicle. Like, they have so much shit to put people in and get them from point A to point B, and we just have one basic truck. And unless you get the Forge World one, the heavy truck, then really you can only put like a handful of guns on the back. It doesn't do anything else. It's like, why can't we just get a plastic truck that comes with Tons of fucking options. Like, bring back the boarding ramps and all that shit. It's like we get the bare minimum, but yet the orcs are like the most like ingenious. Take garbage and give it like a niche job, and then they do the job good with it. I don't know. It just frustrates the fuck out of me. Squizgoth. Great vehicle. Firing platforms. It's awesome. Make this shit in plastic. Why do Imperial Guard get like 5 different fucking Bane blades? Alright? Even Yorick gets his own damn Bane blade, but we can't get like any super heavies, you know, except for the little like baby Stompas. And then they're fucking expensive. And I'm going to get to the big Stompa too. But why can't we get this in fucking plastic? And at least 2 versions of it. Something with a big gun, something with just this meant to hold boys and so they could shoot off of it. Just something. And I would like to see a vehicle that's for the pirate orcs. The not the looters, but the other guys the freebooters. Why can't the freebooters get their own fucking vehicle? Alright, so now that when we talk about the Stompas, I'm not trying to make this video too long. It's already like 10 minutes longer than I wanted to make it to. But I gotta get it all off my chest. Stompas back in the day, they're very artsy, very goofy, fun, tons of weapons. Now we got one, and it only comes in one flavor. It comes with one type of like saw on the arm. We can't get like the lift crusher cannon on it anymore. You can't get all, you know, it's just like they've watered everything down and dumbed it down to the point where it's like orcs are kind of boring. They're not exciting anymore. They don't do the orc shit that they're supposed to do. They're not orky. They're just like, they almost make orcs like cavemen, animalistics when they're really smart and shit. Not most of them, but there's obviously intelligent orcs with the brain boys and all of them, and the like tech guys and shit. But you know, it's like no one there's none of that shit reflects in the game, and I think that's a big very, how the fuck do you say it, tragedy. Maybe tragedy is a good word. So here's the one big Stompa we have, and that's it. There's no other version of this. 800 points. Why fucking bother? Like, seriously, when everybody else can get super heavies that cost like half this and put out, if not more, fucking firepower than this. It's beyond me. Like I said, we might get some hope with when our new codex finally comes out. It probably won't come out till the very end. And then maybe we might get lucky with like power creep. But as far as I'm seeing, like winning lists for orcs, they're all just about the same. Tons of boys, tons of trucks, and some Gretchen and some other stuff. And you know, it's like we're not an elite army. We're supposed to be a mob of crazy, shooting, sword, club wielding, you know, retard strong beast. But there's sprinkled in some weird tech shit and some, you know, some funny boys and some funny tanks. But, you know, that's all gone. It just makes me sad because I really like playing orcs. And the more and more I read about like the old lore, going through my old stuff, it's like it makes me want to play them. But none of the lore is like really represented well on the tabletop, where if you're in Space Marines, you're in the Guard, you're into everybody else has like pretty represented stuff. Not everyone has the same amount. You know, obviously Space Marines are pushed a ton more, and people will argue, well, they make all the money for GW, and I saw this like on a was it like Phalix was doing a live stream and he was talking about it. But it's like if you do a 1-to-1 model count, like Space Marines are going to make up more money because they're a larger, like there's more fish of them in the sea than anyone else. It's like when there's 20 different versions of an APC and 20 versions of a fucking tank and troops, tactical troops. You have your guys with just plasmas. Now you have guys with just flamethrowers. You have guys with just missile launchers. You have 4 different types of assault marines. You have terminators, all assault terminators, shooty terminators. You have tons of air planes and APCs that fly and all kinds of like troop carrier shit. And then you have like tons of super heavies. It's like, of course you're gonna make more money. You can make more armies out of Space Marines than you could do with any other army probably combined. Where you can make, okay, I just want a troop, I want a mechanized, I want an airborne. You could do all that. Hell, they have 2 different types of anti-aircraft vehicles. Like, seriously, it's ridiculous to say, like, oh, well, they make more money. Of course you do. You spend more time on it. This is a board game. I'll compare it to, like, wrestling. Like a WWE or something. If you don't push the wrestler, you don't push the product, it's not going anywhere. If you don't give them airtime, you're not going to see the guy, you're not going to cheer for the guy. If you don't make the orcs represent the fun goofiness that they're supposed to be, people are never going to buy it, because you're buying an army for the flavor of it too. Not just, well, there's people buying it for fucking meta, but you're buying the squats because you want to see little space dwarves with vehicles that all stick together and have fucking tons of guns on them. Just like orcs, you want to see a bunch of greenskins that are fucking crazy and have tons of guns firing at all different directions. Where, yeah, they fire this big ass missile, but sometimes the missile just aims for the sun. Like, that's what people buy that shit for, you know. You're buying Space Marines because you want to see 10 guys in power armor cut through 100 dudes. Or you're playing Imperial Guard because you want to see basic bitch infantry, but you want to see 10,000 of them, and you want to see, like, death by flashlights. Or you want all those tanks and stuff, or the giant artillery battery. That's why you buy that shit. Mostly for, like, the tactics and the flavor of the army. But, yeah, that's all I got right now. I'm tired now, and I'm going to go, take a break and eat something. Like I said before, if there's anything I missed or you think would be cool to have in the from back in the day or something from the lore, write it in the comments, and I'll give it a read, and I might do a part 2 to this. All right, take care, bye.